Don't revel in your rival's pain. Don't glorify your enemy's suffering. Karma is a bitch. Karma is real. And I'll tell you what, it's linked to this whole idea that Jesus teaches, which is forgive those who trespass against you, as you would ask Christ to forgive how you have trespassed, as I have trespassed against him. It's linked to that. It's not exactly the same, but there's parallels in these teachings, in these learnings. You know, I was reveling, I was glorifying, I was hyping up the story of a rival who I defeated recently. And I was telling the story of what led to their downfall for entertainment purposes. And I wasn't even thinking about what I was doing. And it was only afterwards that I realized in doing so, I had made myself look like less. And whether or not it was perceived by those who I believe it was. I believe on some level, even if it was subconscious. Even by setting the stage for my audience to believe that the reason that I was greater, that I had won, that I had accomplished something over my rival, even if it was simply at the level of, oh, well, it's because of how they effed up. Not because you are anything special, not because you are anything great, not because you know more, not because you are more, not because you're more learned or more experienced or a better communicator, whatever it is you want to, whatever accolade that I might hope someone might think about me, wipe that all away. I'm always reminded the moment that I take some form of glory or honor in my own qualities, my own traits, and my own fortune, I instantly realize what a mistake it is. Pride will render us all asunder. And when you entertain others by talking about the misfortune of those you dislike, or the misfortune of those you mock, or the misfortune of those who you feel are less than you, that's only reflecting on how small you are. And I'm no better. I am this way. I am literally right now speaking into a mirror. I'm talking to myself. Maybe this is resonating with you. So when I say you, I don't mean you, I mean me. The last thing we should be glorifying is someone's downfall, someone's defeat, someone's destruction. As much as we may not like them, as much as we may even hate them, as much as we might be competing with them, putting your investment, putting your blood, sweat, and tears, and putting your soul into the destruction of another will come back on you tenfold. Simply seek, and I must relearn this lesson over and over and over again, because I'm imperfect, I'm full of evil, I'm full of sin. And all the lessons, all the parables, all the stories that I may tell over and over and over and over again through hundreds and hundreds of messages like these, I end up making the same mistakes, even though I know better, because I am imperfect. So I have to remember that the only thing I should be invested in is fulfilling my purpose. I dedicate my life to Christ. I commit my life to Christ. I surrender. I sacrifice my life to Christ. And in so doing, I vow to deliver his message of healing love, healing energy, living water. Drink of his living water and you will never go thirsty. And to, in some small way, help as many of his children and lost sheep as possible understand that you can find hope and help, guidance and direction, peace and solace, motivation and inspiration, as I did. Give it a name, say it with me. Strength and solutions, healing and love, purpose and salvation, forgiveness and redemption through Christ. He has lifted me out of so much darkness, so much pain, so much suffering, healed me in so many ways. 2 bouts of cancer, liver issues, all of it conquered. Stronger today, more healthy today, more energetic today, more enthused today, more inspired, more in love, more alive than I've ever been. And so this is what I need to be focused on, not the ephemeral conquests of man, not these worthless goals and achievements that are just dust in the wind, that tomorrow they mean nothing. In fact, a minute later they mean nothing. They have no eternal resonance. They do not, these events that you achieve in this illusion do not echo in the halls of destiny. They are fleeting. All that matters, this life, this hallucination, this illusion, it matters because it is a test, and what you do here counts. But at the same time, if you're invested in the material pleasures and satisfaction and gratifications that this world has to offer you, then that's all you will ever have, that's all you will ever be. And because it's temporary, your soul, your heart, your essence will be ephemeral, will be temporary, will be fleeting, because you're investing in things which cannot be held on to. You're investing in things that only serve, because we're imperfect, because the outcomes are never always perfect, they only serve to ultimately make you feel empty, ultimately to put you in despair, to ultimately fill you with self-hatred and depression, to leave you constantly hungry and thirsty for more and more and more, ravenous, because that hunger can never be fulfilled, that thirst can never be quenched. A king who sits on a throne and has all the riches is not happy. He fights every day to stay in control and remain in control, because he knows it is ephemeral and temporary, and at any moment he could be overthrown. At any moment he could lose his fortune. And so he seeks to constantly conquest his fellow man, hold dominion over his fellow man, crush his enemies, see them driven before him. What life is that? And so even the greatest king on this planet, with all of those riches, imagine if he didn't have to wonder whether or not tomorrow would be his last day, if he would be usurped, if he would be overthrown, if his wealth was not temporary. In fact, his wealth, his treasure, his fortune was not of this earth. Imagine if he had everything he wanted. And then think of Christ, who has it all, and yet only wants us to love him with all of our hearts and souls. That simple thing is the hardest thing for man, because in many ways, to forgive those who hate us is almost impossible. To reject lust and greed and riches and power in many ways is incomprehensible. To restrain ourselves from crushing those who would do us harm is incomprehensible. And so, even when we take some form of pleasure, some form of gratification or satisfaction, as I said, in the destruction or defeat or decimation of those that we are competing against, those that we are striving against for a piece of the pie, it only serves to make us less than who we truly are. And so I learned my lesson. As soon as I did that, I realized I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel entertaining others and giving them some laughs and exciting them, titillating them, gaining their interest for a moment in such a story that only serves to degrade me, that only serves to tear me down. And again, I'm imperfect. All that we should be doing, all that I should be doing, is focused on my purpose in life, to serve Christ, to deliver as many of his children and lost sheep to him as possible, to help as many of you out there know what he has done for me, and to know that you can find those things that I have found, and know that Christ is there for you at any moment to lift you up and build you up, lift you higher, elevate you. And so I have to remember, only speak that which builds us up. Only speak and only think. And of course, we're imperfect, so this is going to happen again, no doubt about it. But I have to remind myself. I have to pray on it. And I have to consider that all that is important is that we build each other up. And when someone falls, we lend them a hand. And that we serve Christ, because Christ is the ultimate salvation. He is the ultimate elevation. He is the ultimate transcendence. And so if we want to see our brothers and sisters recover, if we want to see our brothers and sisters achieve, if we want to see our brothers and sisters find the way, the truth, and the life, then we have to speak to the way, the truth, and the life. So let's speak well of each other. Let's build each other up. Let's construct a foundation so strong, and let's walk hand in hand, united, not divided, towards the same purpose. We work together towards the same purpose. Peace, love, salvation, redemption in Christ. He empowers us. He builds us up. And like Christ, we strive to raise each other, to lift each other, to empower each other, united, not allowing hatred to sow division amongst us. We walk arm in arm with the strength of 1,000 Atlases, 1,000 Hercules, the strength of 1,000 men. Nothing can stop us when we walk united, when we walk together, when we speak well of each other, when we build each other up, and when we're here for each other, to lift each other when we fall, and to carry each other when we need carrying, and to lift each other when we are deep down in the quicksand, the muck, and the mire. With the power of Christ, we help our brethren, and we travel this road together, steadfast, standing tall as we march ceaselessly, unstoppably, unconquerable towards kingdom come.